नहीं सर, फिर okay, let us start. Okay, can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So today we will continue from yesterday class. That is, we will discuss what are the features of Java. Okay. First of all, have you gone through those features of Java and chapter 1? Yes, chapter 1 from the book. Have you gone through? Okay, let me explain this one. Okay, so those are the major features of Java which support object oriented programming concept. Platform, it is a platform independent, it is robust in nature, it has multi-threaded programming concept, it is distributed in nature, it is robust and secured as well. Yes, you can do high performance computing and high performance system management with Java also, and it is simple and dynamic. Okay, so I will explain today only 2 features, 2 and 3 features. Rest feature you go through those features from the book, then we will discuss in next class. Okay. So first 2 features. What are those features? Object oriented and platform independent. What do you mean by object oriented? So let me. Yes. So all the object oriented concept like encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction, they are well supported by Java. Okay, already you have seen a few example. Encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Packing or wrapping attributes or data and method in a single class. Encapsulation. Inheritance, you can inherit, or a class can inherit its parent class or superclass attributes that or data or method as well. Okay, no need to write or create a separate instance on separate method for this. It is automatically inherit those properties, attribute and method. Another concept is polymorphism. Polymorphism already we have discussed yesterday. What is polymorphism? What is the exact meaning of polymorphism? Polymorphism means many forms. Okay, Single entity can have many forms. Okay, like avatars. Okay. So what are two major way you can do polymorphism using Java or any object oriented programming language? One is method overriding and method overloading. Same method name. Okay, method name is same but different arguments. In case of method overloading and in case of method overriding, superclass method is overridden by the subclass method. You have to rewrite some logic, so you can use parent child class or superclass subclass concept, and you can override the method of parent class and you can rewrite our new logic. Those are the ways we can write polymorphism. It is well supported by Java also. Abstraction. All the implementation details or program details are hidden from external entity. Entity may be object, class, or user or client. Okay, what are the ways you can implement abstraction in Java? There are two levels of abstraction. One is data level abstraction and one is, what is the other level of abstraction? You can use abstract class. Okay, implementation level abstraction you can also use. Okay, so these four object oriented concept is well suited in Java language. Is it okay? The first feature, have you understood or any doubt? Any doubt? You are alive or you are asleep? Are you there?
No doubt, sir.
Fantastic, yes. Now we will go to next point, platform independent. Let me see. Okay, why this is platform? What do you mean a platform? So basically you need a basic hardware plus software where your program will run. Okay, any application you are building, either software, hardware or mixed. Okay, those application will run on some hardware mesh device or some software like operating system, hardware like your system configuration like processor, RAM, all this thing, hard disk, all this thing. You need some hardware for this program or the code to run or the application to run. So that is overall called a platform. Now Java it has two pass system where it will convert it to intermediate code, that is bytecode. It will convert it to bytecode first, then the bytecode will convert it to machine code. Okay, so in all platform, different platform like mobile based platform or Android based platform. Okay, platform means mobile or iOS based mobile or computer also. We have Linux, Microsoft, other different operating system. Okay, they have different hardware architecture also, but anyhow the bytecode will be the same bytecode will run on each machine after converting to machine code. So we need to first of all install JVM first. So all the machine, all different machine, all different devices, all different operating system will run, must support JVM installation. Once you install JVM, then your Java program or your bytecode will be running on any machine and any device. Okay, so JVM will take care how to convert the bytecode into the respective machine code. The different hardware architecture or maybe different software or OS or system, different kernels. Okay, so the same bytecode will be running on different devices. So Java, when first started, so they have installed all this JVM inside the Eloquent device, like toaster, my micro, what is called that microwave, all Eloquent device they have installed this JVM, and whatever written Java code, that will be running on different devices. So that's why this is called platform independent. Okay, so the second point is about how Java supports platform independent features. For that purpose, all devices, okay, any kind of devices like electronic device, handheld device, like mobile, laptop, computer system, or other electronic device, web-based program, all this program or system supports Java, not Java. So in which platform we will run this Java? First we will convert it to bytecode. That bytecode will be same for all the devices. That will be run that can be run in any machine or any program. Okay, is it clear to all of you? So that's why this is called platform independent. Okay, now next thing. What do you mean robust? How do you define robustness? Irrespective of any kind of failure or error, okay, it can handle the error, and it can give guarantees that it will run with some efficiency or without fail. So that defines robustness of a program or a system. Okay, so since Java is well supported by JVM and JIT, just-in-time compiler, all interpreter, all this supports, and the bytecode also. Okay, so they combining all these features, they make the Java program robust. So you can guarantee that my program or my application using Java will run with certainty that this will run efficiently in any device, any program, any machine. Okay. So these are major features: object-oriented, platform-independent, robustness. Okay. Why this is called simple? Simple because it abstracts or it hides a complicated technical details from the programmer. Okay. One feature is garbage collector. One is pointer allocation deallocation. So all these technical difficulties what they have observed in C++ or C, okay, so that can be handled by Java. So it is simple to use. Okay. What are remaining? What are the features remaining? Multi-threaded, distributed, secured, and high performance. Okay, they are advanced features of Java. Multi-threaded. Okay, so certain task at a time that can be run on a machine. So there are some cases where you will run multiple such tasks or application. So one task can be run on a single processor, on a single thread, or on a same processor you can fork a lot of threads and you can run another application or task. Okay, so this multi-threading feature helps in Java, helps to run multiple tasks or application, okay, in a single machine. Okay, have you understood this feature, multi-threading concept? What is a thread? It is a subset of process, okay, or a small lightweight process, or we can say child of a process, okay, not exactly child of process, okay. It is created from a process that will help to run a task in a system, okay. So multiple threads at a time can be used to run multiple tasks concurrently. You can simultaneously run multiple tasks on multiple threads. So the multi-threading technique in Java helps to do that. So multitasking, concurrent programming, that can be done using Java. It is distributive in nature. What do you mean a distributed computing? You might have listened a word, or already you have completed BTech, so you might have listened or heard this word somewhere. Distributed system, distributed computing, all this thing. Okay, so Java's remote method invocation RMI helps to compute and compute the algorithm or some logic on different machines at a time. Okay, not in multi-threading in a single machine you can run multiple tasks. Distributed is same task can be done on divided further subtasks and can be run on different machines. So one such feature is provided by remote method invocation that can be implemented by Java. Okay. So these terms are keyword. Remember, whenever you have been asked or asked question in exam, you write those keywords for terms. Okay, secure. Why this is secure? Why the program written in Java can be called as secure? So what kind of security you need while writing a program? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
What can be major threat while writing a program? Think like that. You are writing a code for finding a square of a number, okay, in your machine. Now a very naughty guy, okay, but a very intelligent guy, okay, he can inject or he can put his own class in your program, and he manipulate your program also. He know all the concept. First Java, how the Java is running on your JVM, okay, first converted to class file or the bytecode, then it is run on machine code, it is executed on JVM machine, convert to machine code will run on the system. Okay, so he mischievously put a code, its own class inside your code, okay, through network or through any other means. Okay, so how Java will protect that? Okay, so this kind of security, so nobody can insert or inject your class, modified class or random class in your program or in your project. Okay, so those are granted from Java, byte verifier, class loader, all these things that provides this level of security. Okay, so that's why this is called a secure program. We are not discussing much detail about this. Okay, so you can say that some features or this class level security can be handled from the byte verifier or the class loader. So that's why this is called secure. Now other feature is high performance. What do you mean by high performance? So high performing, you might have heard high performing computer system, okay, high performing computing. So you are, suppose one good example is one, you are adding two numbers. Now if certain cases you have to do this addition million times or billion times. This is one case. And another case you are calculating multiplication. That will take some time, or very big multiplication, like suppose 10 digit or 1632 64 bit multiplication. Can it be done by through Java program? Yes. Another issue while designing application or lot of application like embedded application, electronic application, web based application, okay, they need a lot of hardware resources or software resources. Can it be handled by Java's feature, or a lot of frameworks or lot of application that is built on Java, can it be handled those high performing computations and high computing server kind side programming? Can it be handled? Yes. This is useful using Java. Java has certain feature, application, frameworks and system, so that will support this high performance computing or the application programming. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll have a break, or we'll have stop for 5 minutes. So you do one thing, you note it down all the features what we have discussed today, okay, and you send me through the chat box, or you take it as exercise. Okay, those features of Java you briefly describe and write in a notepad or the document and send. Is it okay to you, or any problem with that?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Now we will move to next thing, that is history and evolution of Java. Okay, before that, today's class we will discuss how to create a class and object. Okay, so you do one thing, you go through chapter 2 from the book E. Balavarsamy, and we will discuss it tomorrow. The short history of Java, how this Java has been created, how this has been evolved over period of time, starting from 95, mid 90s to till now. Okay, these are a few slides you can go through. Okay, and these are the major features, evolution. That features means programming concepts. Okay, they have been put inside Java version. So the version is given like that: J2SC, Java Software Edition 1.2, Java Software Edition 1.3, 1.4. These are the version number. Okay, so till J2SC 5.0, J2SC 6, J2SC 7, till 2011. Now JSC 8, 9, and now I think they are supporting also. Yes, till 9. This has been there. Okay, so there are some certain programming concepts and other programming features, good features they have added, like J2SC 5.0 and J2SC 1.5, 1.4. You can see what are the features they have added. Okay, these are like software releases for the Java software. J2 SDK or JDK. Okay, we will discuss it tomorrow also. Now Today's task we will create a, okay, let us, yes, today's task. Today's we'll do this, create a simple class, then we will create object. Okay, here you can see this is a class of a person. Person is having, suppose, let us forget about unique ID, the data member or the attributes. What are the attributes? Name, age, city, gender. Okay, and it has certain methods like eat, study, sleep, and play. Now in our example, we will try to create a object out of this person. How do you create a person object? The person will have, after creating a person, the all the this field or data field, okay, that will be allocated, like name will be John, age will be something, value will be there, city will be there, and gender will be there. And using that object I can apply those methods like eat, study, sleep, or play. Okay, that is for John, this object. Now another object, Daisy, you can create a name, age, and put to city and gender. And it also, this object can invoke or it can apply this eat, study, sleep, and play method. So how do you do that? Okay, so in the Eclipse, you first create a project, then create a person class. Inside the class you have to declare these attributes or this data member like name, age, city, and gender. So name will be string type. So how do you declare? Yes, how do you declare data? First SS modifier, then field name, then data type. So usually you don't bother about this SS modifier now. Just there are two fields, data type and field name. So int or string or character or double float, these are the data type, and the field name. So that name will hold the value for the data member. So for the age I will take integer value. For string, for name I will take a set of character, that is string. Similarly, the method also will have this signature like SS modifier, then return data type, then method name, then the arguments or the parameter passing to the method. There are two parameters, that A and B. Already you have seen in this example in previous class. I want to sum out two numbers or integers, so I will add here I will declare another variable, that is integer C, then this will be A plus B. Now finally this will return as C. So this is a method block for this class. So similarly we will write this data type and method for this person class. You can see there are two data fields, data members like name and age. Name is of string type, age is of integer type, and it has two methods, public void, it will not return anything, eat, and public void study. So now there are two, this method I have print that a single statement, simple statement like system.out.println I eat bread. Similarly you can write public void study and some simple print statement you can put there. Okay, so first of all I will define this class, then I will create an object. How do you create an object? I will create object person1 of person class using new keyword, and here I will call person method or person method, that is called constructor I will call. So the same class name with this parenthesis. Now I will set the name value, and suppose I will set the name as Alex, and the person 1 age 30, so I will put with dot operator. So how can I invoke the method? I will simply use dot operator. Then using this operator I can call the method person1 object dot method name, then parenthesis. If I have to pass some argument or parameter, I can pass inside the parameter. Since eat and study both the method don't have any parameters or arguments, I will simply call without any or zero arguments. Okay, so now for today's task we will do this thing. First create a class, define a class, then create a object. Okay, so have you installed JVM what I have told to you? Have you installed Eclipse on your system?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, so let me, okay, already Eclipse has been installed, right? And Java SDK also has installed, right?
Yes.
Fine. So for this class I will show you once how to create object project class. Then on subsequent class you have to show me, or we can discuss what you can write. Okay, programming side.
Okay.
Now go to Eclipse first, then click file. You note it down, or I can share the video, no issue. So go to new, then create a Java project. In the project name, I will give this name. Okay, Samar Kotter ICP. Okay, and rest of things you just left untouched. Don't do anything. Just leave it as well. Go to next and uncheck this module info.java file. You can see the source folder already has been created or going to be created. So leave that. Just click finish. Now you can see on the left panel. So on the package explorer, you can see the project has been created. So you expand this, there will be a folder src, and this GRE system library will be there. Okay, this is system library that is needed for all the Java files will be there. That is needed for the Java program. Okay, now right click on source, create new, then class. Okay, so this class, so I will write person. Okay, since I am creating person class, keep this package field blank and click on public static void main string and generate comments, finish. So you can see this class already has been created. This person.java class will be first created. Okay, with the same class name. This class has been already declared here. Okay, the rest thing we will just remove. Okay. And already there is a method public static void main. Okay, so since we want to execute run our program, so this main method we need to be there in the same class. Okay, so no need to worry, one extra method will be there inside this class, except that Let us create. Okay, so what are the data members you have declared? One is string name and int age. Okay, there are two other methods, public void it. Okay, already. Yes, this class I want to create, and then I will create a object out of this. Like void it method will be there. Then so inside that you just simply prove to this system out a println method. This out, this is the package, and now when you will study about package you will come to know this is the super class where it has one out stream. So what it does, it has a method, println method. It will print all whatever you are putting inside this double quote, it will print to this console. So let us check. Okay, so I eat bread. Now I will create another method, public void study. I study, suppose I see. Okay, so these are my methods. So forget about this one. Okay, so this is my overall class. It has two fields, two data members, one is name and one is age. It has two methods, eat and study. Now I will create an object of this class. So let us create a test class and here not going to do anything, just call this person here as person one to new keyword and create an object out of it. Yes, this will create an object. Okay, so till now we have not created. Okay, you are just assigning or the defining those object. Okay, what is the class, what is the person one type. Okay, this is the object of person type. We are just writing like in a stamp. Okay, whenever I run this command, run command, then it will create a class and the object file, then machine code. So let us see person one dot name. I can use dot name. What I have given, Alex. Suppose this is the name, and another attribute or another data member I will keep age. Let us see 30, and I want to person one. This method I will call. And person one dot study. Okay. So first of all I have created object, this person one. Then I am assigning these values, okay, with this member, data member or the attribute name, age. Then I am invoking the method eat and study. So whenever I run, the compiler will run this line by line. Okay, starting from this one. Okay, starting from line 8, it will create object first, then it will assign name first, then age, then it will call eat, then it will call study. So each line has the statements. Okay, this will be executed line by line. So let us see. You can click this one. Yes, so this method has been called first. So this will printed I eat bread, And the next line it will call the study method. It will call simply iStudy IC. Okay. This is a simple example how you will create an object and how to invoke a method defined inside a class. Okay, so this is our class, and this I can use this object to invoke methods, and same object I can assign the data members or the data attributes, or populate all the values to this object. Okay. Now once you run compile, these are two steps. One it is to compile, then it is to execute or run. Okay. So once the object has been created, the person is already has been allocated some memory. So allocation, delegation, all these things we have already seen in the first two classes. We will go through once again. For the demonstration purpose, I am doing this one. On the next class onwards, you prepare your Eclipse and all these things. Whatever you discuss, you will try to give some example, and then subsequent class. Suppose today we will start theory class. Next class we will try to do hands-on on this Eclipse. Okay, is it okay? Any doubt? At least this you can try. Okay, and then tomorrow we will start rest of the theories like evolution of. We will go through those Java history. Then we will go to next chapter. Today you try to build this person object. Okay, so I can and you prepare the short notes on features of Java. Okay, we have already discussed object why it is called object oriented, why it is called a platform independent, why it is robustness. All these things you discuss, note it down, write it down on a document and send. Okay. Any doubt, any clarification you need? Any doubt? So you can try. We have taken only two data members, name and age. You can take other two fields like city and gender. So city will be string, gender also you can character or string. We will study data type. Then we will come to know how to write this data field data member. Okay. But just for the sake of this class, we remember all these fields, city and gender will be in string, including name, and age will be only integer type. Okay, any doubt? Any other doubt or any doubt regarding this today class Java features, or do you have any problem regarding installation or creating a class or creating an object or creating a project in Eclipse?